So today I'm sharing 3 of my absolute favorite go-to energy bites, energy balls, protein balls, bliss balls, whatever you want to call them. I've got 3 of them to share with you today that I absolutely love and that are perfect for keeping your energy levels up. They're great for taking along on a busy afternoon. They're great for a pre-workout snack, a mid-long run snack, or just an afternoon treat. They're full of healthy ingredients and extremely tasty. So let me show you the easiest one first. It is only 5 ingredients total, and it comes together like that. And I'm doing mine in a food processor, but if you don't have a food processor, and yes, I finally drug mine out of storage. If you don't have a food processor, you can also just do this in your blender. I'm starting with just 1 cup of dates that I have soaked, and I'm not using the expensive medjool dates. I'm just using these that I buy in bulk. The deglet dates, they're a little bit less expensive, but if you're putting them in a recipe like this and you're chopping them up anyway, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between a $12 bag of dates and a $20 box of dates, okay? So do yourself a favor and just get the less expensive ones. And these have been pitted, and I soaked them for about 20 minutes in warm water and drained them. That's 1 cup of dates, and I have 1 cup, about 1 cup, this is probably about 3/4 of a cup of hazelnuts, and I also threw in a couple of Brazil nuts for the selenium. Really good health benefits there. And I just toasted these real quick on top of the stove in my iron skillet, just over medium heat for about 3 minutes, keeping them moving. They toast perfectly every time. You don't have to worry about putting them in the oven and possibly burning them. They're kind of expensive, hazelnuts, in my area anyway, and I didn't want to burn them. So next I have a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. And these are so good. If you love chocolate, if you love chocolate donuts, and if you were ever a fan of those little chocolate hazelnut candies that come in the gold wrapper, you know the ones I'm talking about. You're going to love these. And I also have 2 tablespoons of instant espresso powder. This is optional, but I really like the kick that it gives them. These are, like I said, perfect for a pre-run snack. You've got all of your energy in there with your good sugary dates, get that glucose level up, give you some energy. It's got a little kick of caffeine and a little bit of healthy fat from the nuts. And I'm also optionally going to put in 1 scoop of vanilla protein powder. You could use chocolate protein powder here also, or you could just leave it out completely. I'm putting a little protein powder in each of these for me today, but in every recipe it's optional if you want to put protein powder. I have some goals this year to build some muscle, so I'm going to be trying to add a little bit more protein into all of my meals. I'm trying to hit a specific goal daily, like a range. I'm nothing crazy, none of this 150, 200 grams of protein. I don't need all that. I just want a little bit of extra protein in there. So I'm just going to give these a quick pulse. Alright, let's give these a check and see. And you just want them to come together. You can blend them up as fine as you like them, but I like mine to have just a little bit of texture, and this works for me. Let me show you what this looks like. And I can't help myself, I have to taste it. It is like a piece of chocolate cake. All right, and I'm just going to move this to a bowl so I don't, cut got my finger on that blade. I want to make sure I get all of it out of there. It's so tasty. I don't want to waste any of it. Set that aside over here. And you just want it to kind of just be pliable enough to stick together, and the dates will take care of that for you. They'll hold together just perfectly, just like that, like a squishy dough. And I like to roll mine up into about the size of like a big jawbreaker, I guess you'd call that size. You can do them a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger, but I like to have like 2 or 3 at a time, and it doesn't matter what size I make them. If I make them small or big, I'm still going to eat 2 or 3 at a time. So I like to make them a little bit smaller. I don't know what it is. More is better, right? All right, so I'm just going to keep rolling these up. And after I roll them, I like to just roll mine in some hemp seeds. And I'll be doing that with all 3 of the energy balls that I make today. This is also optional. You could roll these in a little bit of cocoa powder, or you could even roll them in a little bit more espresso powder. But I like mine rolled in the hemp seeds. It adds a little bit more protein to them. And if you're skipping on the protein powder, you could even add a few hemp seeds into the mix for some added protein and roll them on the outside. Hemp seeds are a great source of vegan protein. And you could use a little melon ball scooper or a small ice cream scoop to do these, or a small spoon, and measure them out if you're really trying to track the macros. But I don't feel that that's really necessary for me. These can be stored in the refrigerator, or they can just be stored out at room temperature for a couple of days, for a few days, if they last that long. These generally don't last that long unless I put them away in a container in the freezer and take them out as needed. And I'll roll a couple in cocoa powder. The next recipe I want to share is something really special. It might have a few more ingredients, but trust me, it is so worth it. It is gingerbread protein balls. Now, you might be saying that, Dina, the holidays are over, we don't want any more gingerbread. And I say, nay, nay, I want more gingerbread. I happen to love gingerbread. I love all things ginger. And you know, ginger has so many great health benefits. It's great for anti-inflammatory, it's great for digestion, it's great as a prebiotic for your good gut health. So good for you. So don't sleep on the ginger the rest of the year. That's all I'm trying to say. So I'm going to start with my dry ingredients, which are just a cup of oats, or you could use oat flour. I don't generally keep oat flour on hand because it's so easy to just blend up oats. And I really like these. I get these at Costco, and they are sprouted rolled oats, gluten-free. So if I didn't say already, all of the recipes today are vegan and happen to be gluten-free. So those are the oats I like, and this is just a superfine almond flour. You'll see it usually labeled great for baking when they grind it up really fine like that. That's also what I like to use, is the fine almond flour. And here I have my spices. And I am using a little bit of dried ginger, about 2 tablespoons. And I also have a little bit of ground ginger, ground allspice, ground cloves, and a pinch of nutmeg and a pinch of salt. Those are the spices, oh, and half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Those are the spices I like to put in my gingerbread. If you like something different, then by all means, use something different, but I like mine to be really spicy. And I will leave all of the, wow, this thing is, I told you I just got it out of storage. I must have forgot how to use it. It's really giving me trouble today. Anyway, I will definitely write off the full recipes for all of these down below in the description box. Now, if you don't know where to find, there we go. If you don't know where to find the descriptions in the description box, if you go right below the video, it'll say description and a sentence will start. Just click on more and then drop down a little bit further and click on more again, and you'll be able to see all of the recipes there. All right, let's just pulse this really quick before we add our wet ingredients. I just want to get that candied ginger a little bit broken up and get my spices incorporated into the oats and the flour. Okay, that should be good. And from there, I just want to add the rest of my ingredients, which are 2 tablespoons of molasses. And I'm just going to take the lid off to do this. I'm not messing around here. I don't have time for that. So 2 tablespoons of molasses. And molasses is another one of those things that we don't consider a superfood and usually gets overlooked. But it happens to be extremely high in iron. So it's another one of those things that you can incorporate if you're looking to get a little bit more iron into your diet. And I also have 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. You could use, alternatively to maple syrup, you could use date syrup, you could use agave nectar, or any kind of sweetener that you want to put in there. And I have 3 tablespoons of almond butter. This is all natural almond butter, no sweetener or oils added, okay? I'm just going to blitz this up again until it makes a pliable dough. Once it starts coming together like this and kind of forming a dough, it's ready. I'm just going to transfer it to a bowl. Oh, it smells amazing. It smells like Christmas. All right, and the same with these. I'm going to roll these into relatively small, little bite-sized balls. And I'm not going to say how many this is going to make because you can divide it up however you want to divide it up. This recipe for the gingerbread makes about double the amount that the chocolate recipe makes. If you want to double the chocolate, that would be good too. You could half each of these recipes or you could double them and just put them in the freezer. They keep for 3 to 4 months. All of these recipes will keep 3 to 4 months in the freezer for you to have when you're ready to eat them. So if you want to just take a batch prep day like I'm doing, and I'm making all 3 of these recipes, I will have plenty of little snacks for the next few weeks if I don't eat them all today. And yeah, they freeze and they keep really well. And this one, again, you can just put these in an airtight container right in your pantry or on your shelf or on your kitchen counter to have them readily available. If you're somebody that just grabs, like if you come in the house super hungry, like I am guilty of doing after working an extremely long work day, sometimes, you know, you come into the house and you're just so hungry, so hungry. You just grab the first thing that you see that's available to eat. If you set yourself up with healthy snacks, you know, maybe leave a small jar on the counter. And you know, when you get home, you know, you have healthy snacks there waiting on you. Leave something like this out, maybe some fruit, Things like that, things that you can immediately, start to snack on while you're going about getting your dinner ready, or, going about the rest of your evening. Because, I feel you. I work long days too. And, just grabbing the first thing that's convenient, that's where a lot of people, they set these health goals and they feel like they fail because they're just not setting themselves up for success, right? So we have to think about those things before they happen. You got to think about what you're going to eat before you're super hungry. Does this happen to anybody else when you're making some kind of ball? This is the one I started with, and this is the one that I'm at now. So yummy, so yummy. The third recipe I want to share is for all of my fellow lovely lemon lovers. Before going vegan, I had a favorite cookie. It was that lemon white chocolate cookie at Panera Bread. Oh, Panera Bread. Why can't you make a vegan version? Anyway, I came up with several solutions to that craving and have really mastered making lemon desserts. I love lemon. I love those little lemon poppy seed muffins. I love lemon meringue pie. I love lemon sherbet. I love lemon anything. Lemon is one of my favorite flavors. So let me show you what I am starting with here. And yes, I am just working with the same bowl and just didn't bother washing out my food processor because it's almost exactly the same ingredients. So I'm going in with 1 cup of almond flour. And to this, since there's a little bit more liquid, I'm going to add a little bit of coconut flour. Coconut flour just helps, kind of absorb the liquid in a recipe. And I should be putting this in here. You could just mix this in a bowl. Also, you could just mix this right in this bowl. It won't hurt anything. And I realized after I started cleaning up that I forgot to put my scoop of protein powder in my gingerbread balls, but it'll be okay. I'll write it down in the recipe and you'll remember to do it. And I have the juice of 1 lemon, and he was really juicy. I got a little more than a 1/4 cup of juice. And the zest. And I have a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. Again, you could use any kind of sweetener that you like, agave nectar, date syrup, any liquid sweetener. If you use a dry sweetener, you'll just want to add a couple tablespoons of liquid to the recipe. And I'm just putting in a pinch of salt. And I'm just going to pulse this real quickly before I add in my poppy seeds. Alright, just enough to mix it up, and I'm going to transfer it to my bowl. Carefully. This dough is a little bit more wet when you first make it, but the longer that coconut flour sits, it will dry up just a little bit. And also with this recipe, this will depend on what kind of protein powder that you're using. I'm using 1 scoop of Orgain sweet vanilla bean protein powder. But in the recipe description, I will write the grams out or the ounces, because these little scoops are different in every brand of protein, so it will vary a little bit. I wouldn't worry too much about it, just as long as in the end you have a pliable, workable dough. And I have just added in my poppy seeds and chia seeds. I have a tablespoon of each. So again, we're looking for those healthy fats, a little bit of protein, and some good sugars and carbs for energy. And this is another recipe that if you want to double it, it can be easily doubled because it makes a small amount like the chocolate ones. Oh, the smell of that lemon is just making my mouth water. And this is a case where I would not recommend using lemon extract or artificial lemon flavor. If you don't want to zest and juice the lemon, you can get the real lemon juice in the little container, but I would not use the artificial lemon flavoring in this one. It's just not the same. Or lemon extract. It just has a different, you know, kind of sharp bite to it. And I do have homemade lemon extract that's really good, but this is just not the place for it. Save it for your baked goodies. And again, I'm just rolling these in hemp seeds for a little protein boost. And I started with about 3/4 of a cup of hemp seeds in my little bowl here. And that's about enough for all 3 of these recipes. If you don't want to do hemp seeds, you could do another crushed up seed. You could do finely chopped walnuts or sunflower seeds or some more hazelnuts maybe, or you know, whatever your favorite little crunchy thing is. But I happen to absolutely love the flavor of hemp seeds with all 3 of these. Hemp seeds have just kind of a neutral, nutty flavor. If you've never tried them, I highly recommend them. I was kind of iffy about them for a long time. I would see a lot of people using them and think, wow, that probably doesn't taste very good. That's kind of weird and kind of strange. But as soon as I tried them, I was like, I was addicted. No, I was hooked. They're really delicious. They're good on a lot of things. And, you know, they're super healthy for you. A lot of really good health benefits in hemp seeds. And they're not that expensive as far as what you would label some of the superfoods to be, you know. The fancy superfoods, as they call them nowadays. They're not that expensive. Just buy them in bulk, and they keep really well in the freezer. I'll pull out like enough for a couple weeks at a time and put them in an airtight container or a glass jar with a tight fitting lid on my counter or on my shelf over here, and they keep just fine. Okay, I have one tiny little piece left, and I can't help myself. My mouth is like watering. I've got to taste this one. My hands are all covered in hemp seeds. These are a little bit stickier than the other ones, like I said, but after they've set for a little while, that coconut flour will draw in some of the moisture and they'll firm up. Oh, these are perfect. You have a little bit of crunch and pop from the poppy seeds, the chia seeds, and the hemp seeds, and then like a smooth, creamy lemon. Oh, these are so good. I would do an okay. Well, I'm doing an okay anyway. So good. As always, I truly appreciate you watching. I hope that you will let me know what you think in the comments, and please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!